Back when nothing truly mattered and we hadn't had a clue. We fell in to play the game. Nothing would ever be the same. There were times when there was laughter. There were times when there was joy. But they took it all away for the pleasure in our pain. Welcome to our whole new world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we know. Welcome to our whole new world. All that I tried to hide away from the scars we made. This is your chance to understand we did not design this plan that was built for you. There's nothing you can do. This is my warning, this is your sign that you can't go running high. We will fight for you. You know it to be true. Welcome to our whole new world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we know. Welcome to our whole new world. All that I tried to hide away from the scars we made. From the scars we Welcome to our whole new world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we made. Welcome to our whole new world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we made. Welcome to our whole new world. All that I tried to hide away from the scars we made. Welcome to Back when nothing truly mattered and we hadn't had a clue. We fell in to play the game. Nothing would ever be the same. There were times when there was laughter. There were times when there was joy. But they took it all away for the pleasure in our pain. Welcome to Try
And welcome everyone back to Nerd TV for another RSR Next Generation Cup Series race live from simulated Kansas Speedway, where these drivers will go 140 laps around this 1.5 mile progressively banked racetrack. Stats on the track there on the left-hand side, 75 degrees. Track temp, 67 degrees in the sky, so that track temp will drop as this race progresses. 78% humidity, really foggy and overcast here this evening, and 14-mile-an-hour winds, so a little bit of a Kansas storm brewing through here, but don't worry. Rain is turned off on the oval still, so we will not encounter that. It's just going to be everything but here this evening. My name is Jeremy Stanley, aka Jay Swifty on the interwebs, and to my right, co-partner slash producer Dustin Loxton, aka Ballistic. It's Tuesday, man. What's up?
Ready to watch these RSR guys lay it down tonight at Kansas. We've seen a fantastic race at the Global Racing Truck Series on Sunday at this very same facility. Probably one of the better cookie cutter facilities and circuits on the schedule. And you know the progressive banking. We've seen, I mean, just amazing 2 wide racing. We've seen some 3 wide racing. Um, I would expect nothing less here from the RSR drivers here in the Gen 7s. Especially with about 30 laps to go, Jeremy. It seemed like that's when the action really picked up. The last time we called this race was about 30 laps to go, and there was action all over the track going on. Good, hard, clean racing. So should be a good one tonight here for the Waterford Concepts 200.
Yeah, if my memory serves me right, that race last time at Kansas was phenomenal from start to finish, and I'm expecting the same thing. Same drivers, they just been doing it a little bit longer, more experience, and so that's going to be exciting. Also exciting is this playoff battle here. We still got 16 on right now. It looks like from the last update. Brian Fine is the last driver on that column in 16th place. Brock Potter right above him, up by 5 points, and Alexander Hodge, Brandon Gagnon, Travis Strogeny, Gage Wenzel, and Nolan Potter. That's from 16th to 10th. And so I think if I'm trying to remember if they told us, Dustin, if it was the top 8 that get kicked over or the top 6, if you had that info.
I don't have the info on me right away. I thought it was the
Okay.
top 8.
Top
But
8. Okay.
we will have to fact check that for sure. Sometimes our leagues, with the way that they do their playoff systems, they kind of blend and mesh together, and we try to remember some of the stats on there. But I mean, either way, Jeremy, it's a tight battle. This is a huge points night, potential points night for a number of drivers. You talked about Brian Fine being right on that bubble. You know, he's going to look for any point that he possibly can, even if he's got a damaged car. You're going to see these drivers stay out there. They're going to stay racing. They're going to stay racing hard, hoping to try to gain any possible points they can tonight, especially if they're down towards that the lower end of the top 16. So, I mean, really anywhere from probably 12th to 16th, those final 4 or 5 positions are pivotal positions because a bad race can sit here and knock you out of contention. So they definitely got to try to stay on it tonight.
Yeah, and it's gonna be a tough one. It's gonna be really racy, really competitive, progressively banked. Tire wear can affect your night, and you can also change your lane to affect that as well. And you know what, Dustin? We're going qualifying. Qualifying session is live, so it's our turn to get our cameras off your screens. Fastest driver in practice, I think for the first time, at least that I can remember in 2024, Kevin Lee Ruff in the 99 with a 30.603 is your fastest practice guy. So we're going to see if he can't get on track. Right now, we do have the 14 Travis Strogeny, so we're going to... Oh, never mind. There's the 99. Right when I was telling you to rotate, here he is in the BestOne tire. Ford Mustang. And this is the Waterford Concepts 200, by the way. Series sponsor, BestOne tire. Race sponsor, Waterford Concepts LLC. There we go. We're going to see what he does on this track. It is driver option, top, bottom. The middle of the me never works, but these guys know how to do it better than I do. And you're going to use that first lap to warm up the tires by going to the top, but then bottom or top for the second lap. That's going to be the key here. And we're going to see what Kevin does.
Yeah, and no surprise, like you said, they're going to go to that top on their out lap like that. One, they're going to sit here and try to build some pressures up. Try to get that speed going. He's going to drop to the apron instantly on his green flag lap. Right now, he's taking the green flag. He's going to elect to keep it high. That's not how he wanted to start that, though, as he wall tags that. So that is going to disqualify, and he does it again. That's going to disqualify this lap, Jeremy. So his money lap is going to be that second lap there. He's going to have to put everything out. He's going to run this thing as high as what he possibly can. Build that speed up from what he scrubbed off. You should see him drop down to the apron just like that. That's an invalidated lap. So this one right here has to be the money lap. He cannot get a 0x. He's going to run that top side. Going to try to stick it as best as what he can, Jeremy, as he comes off turn 2. So far, clean.
Won't be surprised if he goes to the bottom in 3 and 4. You get the run all the way down the back straightaway, but you have a half a lap on the front stretch. But he's going to like to stay at the top, and let's keep note of his lap time. Because if you're going to hit the wall and pancake the right side and come out here and get pole, there might be something to that madness. Kevin at the line. Nope, that's not the time to post. 31.1. Nope. Half a second, Dustin, off his practice time. Not going to be the one to do it. 14, Travis Strogeny through the first 13 times. He's P1 so far.
Yeah, 30.71. Alexander Hodge with a strong running at a 30.78, only 7 hundredths off of Strogeny. Right now riding on board with Nathan Campbell, who's up towards the top there, Jeremy, in the point standing. So very comfortable coming in, a lot of breathing room, but still out here wanting to try to gain as many points as possible. As he crosses the line there, that is going to slot him P8 at a 30.89 as it sits right now. We're going to turn around and go jump on board the 71 of Gino Morrow, who's been on a hot streak, Jeremy. This driver here has won the last 2 events over here at RSR, looking to try to three-peat it, but he's got some stiff competition tonight.
This race is going to be the most competitive. It's going to be really difficult if he can three-peat this thing. He came out of nowhere, right? He's only been here for a few months at most. He's been posting pretty decent times inside the top 10, but these past 2 race weekends here at RSR, Gino Morrow on the road course at Watkins Glen, and then he gets it done on an oval. So, I don't know.
Momentum, Jeremy. You and I both know momentum is so pivotal. If you have momentum, you can do some amazing things.
You can. If you show up to the race not feeling like you want to race it, it will deter you from hitting your marks. You might think you just drive the car, right? It's going to go fast and better if you're feeling bad or good. No, it's consistency, it's tire management, it's making the right moves at the right time. It's a mental game as well. So, yeah, the momentum definitely plays a factor in that scenario there. Travis Strogeny, the 14, still holding it, Dustin, after 23 posted times so far. 30.7 is your fastest. 31.1 is your slowest. So a variance of 0.4 of a second through 23 times posted and 10 seconds left. And I think this is the 14's first pole of the season. So congratulations, Travis Strogeny, the 14. Hopefully that translates well for you in the race.
And look at that, though. I mean, Corey Dank, Gage Wenzel, Alexander Hodge, Adam Boughton, Michael Carter. You even have Caleb Sheets as well, all qualified in the top 10. Solid qualifying efforts from a lot of drivers tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. The practice times are much faster, which is kind of surprising to me on the qualifying times. I know there's a little bit of a draft effect, but that much of it at Kansas, that's something to take note of. And that's probably why this track is really competitive in the race. So we'll have to take note and see if this weather brings even more close, exciting action than what we've seen earlier. All right, this is your starting lineup for the Waterford Concepts 200. Travis Strogeny, P1. Corey Dank in the 7, going to be P2 for Tiny Toes. Row number 2, Richie Coy in 3rd. Gage Wenzel in 4th. 5th place in row 3, Alexander Hodge. 6th place, Adam Boughton. Row 4 in 7th place, Nathan Campbell. 8th place, The 8 car, Michael Carter. 9th place in row 5, Brock Potter. 10th place, Caleb Sheets. Row 6, you'll find Jack Simpson in 11th, Harold Watkins in P12. Row 7, Timothy Watson in 13th. To his outside, your back-to-back race winner, Gino Merrill, will start in 14th. 15th in row 8 will be Nolan Potter. And to his outside in 16th place, Bob Fitzpatrick. Row 9, going to be Dalton Wicker in 17th, Jonathan Cogswell in 18th. Row 10, Jerry Culver in 19th, Robert Fitzpatrick Sr. in 20th. Row 11, Kevin Ruff on the inside. And I'm excited for this one, Dustin. Brandon Gagnon, brand new paint scheme I painted for him literally this week, finished it up. He's going to be starting in 22nd. And then Christopher James with the last time posted in 23rd. And then Kent Mueller, I do believe, is your last entry there in the black, blue, and yellow Toyota Camry. And that's it. That's your starting lineup for the Waterford Concepts 200. One pace lap around this place. Pace car will dip down. And for the guys that are just anyone that's viewing here, 13 viewers it looks like on the YouTube side. Michelle Rittenberry already saying, hey guys, what's up? Welcome aboard for our broadcast tonight. Enjoy it. This is going to be a good one.
It's definitely going to be a good one as cars are rolling out now. And Jeremy, I have to sit here and say you had made mention about paint jobs, and I love when people really play to the track they're at. But look at Dalton Wicker. We've seen this in RSR with a Wizard of Oz themed paint job, but Dalton Wicker breaks out another Wizard of Oz themed paint job because, Jeremy, we're in Kansas and there's no place like home. So I love it when drivers play into the scheduled track.
Go to the number 7, the teammate for the 17. Speaking of which,
Look at that, man. Has the Wicked Witch of the West. See, I love when teams do this. I love when drivers have fun with it. This is what it's all about. A little bit of fun tonight.
I don't know if you caught my pickup line there. Speaking of which,
oh, look at you.
there it is. I love it. I have not seen this before. And yeah, it was on Sunday with Clayton White in the 14. And now we get it with Tiny Toes Racing. So that's kind of cool touch. I love to see it. Appreciate that little touch of detail. Green flag is out, though. The Waterford Concepts 200 is underway. 14, good start there. The 7, Corey Dink, almost matches that start, getting a huge push from the 36. Gage Wenzel until they get to turn 1 and releases him. He's going to be side by side. That is the 7 car, Corey Dink. Richie Coy, who did a top 5 finish, I do believe, last night here for FTSR. But 3 wide here for 5th place. The 11 Alexander Hodge in the middle. We're in that second groove. For some reason, the second groove typically doesn't get going as well as the first and third groove. But he's going to hold on here. First lap belongs to the 14 car, Travis Strogeny.
Yeah, that did not take long to go 3 wide typically. Oh, we got a car up in the wall there. Who was that? Looked like that was the 10 to Caleb Sheets. A little bit of wall scrape, which isn't too bad. Again, the bodies of these cars are very resilient. It's the toothpick internal components that if you sneeze in the wrong direction, you're going to break something. So definitely don't want to do that too much. But like I said, it didn't take long for that 3 wide to take effect. But Jeremy, one thing I noticed, it didn't last very long either. So that's something to keep in mind. Speaking of 3 wide again. That's Culver in the middle there. That's the 80 there on the top side of Jonathan Cogswell. That cycles through and goes back to 2 wide. So drivers are doing it smart. If they are in a 3 wide situation, Jeremy, it seems like they are getting out of it as fast as they possibly can.
Yeah, I mean, it's way too early. It's very doable at Kansas. It's very doable. But don't risk it. We're on lap 4 of 140. No reason to have it. But you see a lot of 2x2 action. This is what we saw earlier in the year, and this is what we're going to see again here tonight for probably the majority of this race. Look at this, just side by side. We're 4 laps in. Typically, everyone would be single file at this point. No, not at Kansas. We're going to see a lot of lane shifting here. Coy Dink bottom to the top, trying to keep the 11 and the 24 at bay here. He's going to be single file, getting to turn number 1, still 2x2 behind them, 3 rows consecutive. He's going to dip behind the 19, Richie Coy. Looking at the 34, Nolan Potter with some new paint colors tonight. Going to pass the 24 Jack Simpson. It puts him back to P9.
Yeah, while this race is going on, Jeremy, Travis Strogeny has put a little bit of breathing room between him and the 36 of Gage Wenzel, which Gage Wenzel is out front running strong as well. Right now, he is gapping the 45 of Nathan Campbell by about a car length, but Nathan has been closing in. But solid start for these drivers so far. But Jeremy, we've seen it before, and it's gonna, we're gonna have to kind of see exactly what happens with these drivers running that top side. We know that tire wear does play a factor. We've seen it affect the trucks a little bit, but again, the trucks and the Gen 7s are all different. Look at this, 3 wide, almost 4 wide. We are 4 wide. Man, these guys are dicing it, Jeremy.
I said no to 3 wide. They said, I bet we're going 4 wide. Still 3 wide. 23 Watkins in the wall. Bounces it off and gets the momentum like you're at Bristol, bouncing off the top of the track. He's going to clear everybody else that he just passed. Now he's going to be to the 19 side as we're looking on board the number 8, Michael Carter. Team Realtree, Toyota Camry. Looking at the inside there, looking at Tiny Toes driver number 7, Corey Dank. Looking at the 71, Gino Mero, back-to-back weeks race winner. Richie Coy going to cut off his nose, make a little contact. Good thing these cars are planted, it looks like. He saves it. I got a single file out here. Oh, Gino with a block over Michael. Not going to like that one early on.
That was close. You got to be careful with those cuts. We've seen drivers make those cuts there, and just the closing rate on them at times. That driver at the back does a lot of times may not have enough time to check up, and it doesn't take but just a little bit of a bump. And these cars, they will let you know. We got 3 wide again. It's going to be Dalton Wicker in the center. That cycles out. Caleb Sheets falls back. It goes back to 2 wide again. But, Jeremy, we got some drivers on the move right now trying to work their way forward here. We got some drivers that are falling back. Talking about Richie Coy in the 19, Corey Dank in the 7. Both dropped 10 positions from where they started, Jeremy. They started up in the top 5, and right now they're slotted in 12th and 13th, well outside of the top 10.
Short lap heroes, it looks like in the early going for the 7 to the 17. Good news, the 45 is on the opposite of that spectrum, up 5 positions from 7th to 2nd. Half a second behind the 14. Going to keep him at bay for a little bit. Keep him a little honest with his run that he's got going on, which has been fantastic up to this point. Catching up on the YouTube chats, Chris Dixon saying get after it. 83, that's referring to Brandon Gagnon. Kalopaskine, I quit on that one. I said, two-toe.
Kel Scopoline.
Kel Scopoline. I'm never gonna do.
I got you, Kel Scopoline. I got you covered.
That's fine. Two-toe. We are not in Kansas anymore. And then he says, "Mama loves you." And then Rittenberry saying, "Let's go, Cabin 4 wide already, giving me anxiety." Well, this is RSR. This is Kansas. Strap in, because we're not done with 4 wide racing here.
No, I mean, if they were already going 3 wide on lap 2 and 4 wide, 7, 8 laps into it, we're not done with it by any means. And Jeremy, that kind of has me wondering if some of these drivers like Richie Coy, if they may not be falling back on purpose because maybe they feel that something's going on. Because, I mean, if you look at Richie Coy, he's almost at the tail end, almost kind of like what you and I would do at certain restrictor plates. If we know certain things, we have this gut feeling like something's going to happen, we try to get ourselves the hell out of Dodge, so to speak. Maybe they're doing that because you see Kevin Ruff, who was fastest in practice, he's riding back in the back as well. Brandon Gagnon, another one riding back in the back. You have Bob Fitzpatrick Jr. is another one riding the back. So a lot of the drivers that we have come accustomed to calling their names later in the race, that are up there battling in the top 10, top 5, they're riding in the back right now. So, again, kind of thinking maybe there's some strategy play into it.
Maybe, just maybe here. We'll see. Tire wear is a thing here in Kansas, and it can drop off a little bit. They're going to go to the inside of Harold Watkins.
That was simultaneous moves there by Simpson and Hodge.
I know. It almost feels like they were signed up through the Blue Angels group to make that maneuver. That was so clean between those two. and they're going to follow in tow one another on the front straightaway through the bottom half of the apron. And then Harold Watkins finds where he's most comfortable on the outside wall in turn 1 and 2. He's going to lose Jack Simpson's position. Alexander Hodge back to the inside once more to try to make the pass. Dives it to the bottom lane. The 23 is going to try to shortcut the corner to the second, now first groove. Going to be at his door panel there.
Oh,
then Alexander Hodge. Hello, how you doing? He's going to squeeze him up into turn 1, Dustin. These guys are...
Oh, man, that's
he's giving
close.
him no room. Oh, good stuff here so far at Kansas.
So close right now. Oh, contact.
Uh-oh. Camera's going crazy.
Camera went crazy on that one.
Watkins on the radio saying, terrible, dude.
Oh, man.
Not sure what happened. Our camera went berserk.
It went completely foobar on that one. Now, we're going to go back and see if we can't do that. So that was between Harold Watkins and Alexander Hodge. And these two were duking it out pretty hard. And there's the contact. And Harold Watkins is going to maintain. He's sliding, but is able to maintain. And remember, these were the two drivers that they were racing hard, and the car on the inside, and I'm going to say Alexander Hodge, because Harold Watkins couldn't go anywhere at all. He had the wall to his right side, but Hodge was not leaving very much room for air there at all leading up to that. So, and what makes it worse, Jeremy, is these cars. You've ran these cars more than I, but I'm not dumb when it comes to these cars either. I've pulled my fair share of laps. What makes it even worse is when cars are so equal in speed, the way that drivers have to get by other drivers is to slow them up. And the way they do that is by putting their nose either on their right rear or their left rear, right where that space in between the bumper and the rear tire, and they pack air on that other car. And it's almost like just, hitting an ejection parachute on that car you're trying to pass, and it slows them up. The downside is you have to get close to do that, which leaves very, very, very minimal room for error.
Yeah, if you put the nose on the right rear, it doesn't matter what car you're driving. If it's on an oval at speeds of 150 plus, you're going to deploy the parachute on the guy in front of you. You're going to take all the air off. And remember, these cars have a huge vertical placed nose, so they punch a big hole, and the guy behind gets the benefit of that. And it's fixed setup racing here tonight. You're on the next generation Gen 7 car.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I covered all bases. But they are so identical that you have to do some things, right? And so it's probably why Harold Watkins came down. He hit Alexander Hodge the half lap before that spin out there almost from the 23. Trying to maximize where he could, get down right next to the 11, but he expected 11 to go below the white line. They made contact, just miscalculation, because 23 was just simply trying to maximize the aero efficiency on his car, and Alexander Hodge did not see it that way. Gave him the bump on the back straightaway, and that's how we're in that predicament. But yeah, this is why we see it so close at Kansas too. It's just draft. You have lane choice. It's fixed setup. You can only change your brake bias, and that's it. So it makes a great broadcast, though, Dustin.
Oh, it really does. And like you were talking, this is one of those tracks where drivers, we're watching Nolan Potter right now, Boughton, and then we have Gage Winslow. They all took the apron there. That is driver's choice. You are not required to take that apron, as we have a Boomer button box caution out right now. And this looks like it's going to involve the 17 of Dalton Wicker. We're going to have to see what happened here, Jeremy.
Yeah, we're going to have to find out. Not too sure here at the... We're 3 wide. We're 3 wide. And Richie Coy at the top. I don't know if there was contact between him and the 23. That's a Harold Watkins sandwich if I've never seen one before. He's going to lose his hood. Denk, he's going to scratch up the red, shiny slip-on shoes on the 17's door panel. We're going to have to kick it back to at least one review, Dustin. I don't know if that was just driving up into 19's door, 19 coming down.
Yeah, that one there is a tough one on that.
Here we go. Should be good. Already pinching him a little bit.
Yeah, already pinching. There's no
He just
room for
drove
Richie
up.
Coy. Yeah, he just drove up into him. At the first glance, it almost looked like Richie Coy might have come down, but Richie Coy literally had no room there. He was almost scraping the wall, and the 23 came up and just caused a chain reaction on that one. There, as we're flying with the drone camera here to get the best possible angles, which obviously it's way better than earlier when that happened. But yeah, Jeremy, product of three wide racing, unfortunately, and that's that's what happens. And you see, look like Robert Fitzpatrick Jr. got involved in that one as well down there after the aftermath with Harold Watkins. So Harold Watkins not having the best of days right now. He had that run in with Alexander Hodge, and now this one, and it looks like he's got something's busted on that car, Jeremy. So.
Unfortunate. I mean, that this is 3 wide at Kansas. This is what we've seen earlier this year. This is what we're going to see again. And this is what we're going to continue to see throughout this race. Speaking of 3 wide, we're 3 wide off pit roads. It don't matter if we're going 70 miles an hour or 170. We're going to find it. And so I see correction on the chats. Toto like the dog. I was trying to make it rhyme, but I got corrected on that. So I'm going to sit down and just call the race and not try to rhyme some things. Appreciate you. And then Michelle saying, thank goodness I have my Space Panda. So,
Absolutely. Her and the head nerd
speaking
and
of
shark.
Space Panda, let's shout them out real quick. Since we're talking about them already, might as well bring them up on our screen here during this commercial or caution break. So if you're looking to relax and unwind with any Delta 8 or 9, this product, I know your wife uses it. I know you wish you could use it if you didn't work for the government. And a lot of other people do too. It helps you relax, unwind after whether it's a hard working day at the office, or if you have a nagging kid and they finally go to bed, or whatever the case is. Or if you're racing an RSR race on Tuesday at Kansas. SpacePanda.com is going to be your place to go to get that unwind and relaxed feeling, and use that RSR promotion code for 10% off your purchase.
Yeah, it's a great product. It really is. I mean, Delta 8 and Delta 9 has done many great things for those that maybe have anxiety or CPTSD. Like my wife does. I know it helps with that as well, and it's got a lot of uses for it. So definitely go check them out. I know they've been releasing some crazy flavors. It hits on our Discord all the time, and I see their Twitter posts, and I'm like, man, those look good. But like you said, I can't partake. Government employee. It's not legal on the federal side, so no.
Being the man to not get randomly sampled for a check. So nice job on your part there. Let your wife enjoy it. Let your wife review it. And you just got to live through here on that notion. But should be one to go. Yep. One to go here. Travis has led every single lap. 26 completed. Travis has led 26. He did have the 45 drive up through the field, but then he got passed on pit road by a couple cars. Adam Boughton now going to start second. Kent Mueller. Look at this guy.
Welcome
know
to
if he
top
even
3
hit it.
podium.
Did he pit? He was last place on the grid, 25th place. I'll have to do a little quick check to see if he came down pit road. I don't think he did. I think it's the track position move. Yep, he stayed out. So this is why
Top
he's way
3
up
stayed
here.
out. So
Top
your
3.
first driver that has come down and has pitted is going to be the 80 of Jonathan Cogswell. Going to be the first one in that lineup there. So we'll have to see how things go. But Strogeny, Boughton, and Mueller all stayed out. 26 laps on those tires, Jeremy. I don't know. We'll have to see how that works, because I'd be a little worried to have some of these drivers like Campbell and company back behind him with fresh simulated Goodyears, kind of nipping at my heels.
And that's crazy. Cogswell started 18th. Where did he come from? He's up 14 spots in P4. Pace car is down. We're going to see if he can crack the top 3. Kent Mueller did not press the go button whatsoever on those old tires. Nathan Campbell said, nope, we're going to go 3 wide. I told you, we're going to find it. And we're going to continue to find it. 2 rows, 3 wide here. 45 gets cleared. The 36, Gage Wenzel, he gets cleared. The 26 makes contact with Adam Boughton. They're going to check up the 4 and the 11 down the back straightaway. We got cars below the white line. We're still 3 wide, 2 rows deep. Going to check up the 71 into the 4.
This
Still
is
3 wide,
tight.
Dustin.
This is crazy tight. There's like no room for air right now. Still 3 wide. Mueller in the center right now. That's going to be the 4 of Brock Potter up top. Now Gino Morrow. Brock Potter in the wall. Morrow in the wall after contact from Mueller. You got Sheets going down low. Almost 4 wide. Still 3 wide. These drivers are not holding back now, Jeremy. They are all out.
Gino Mera got tagged by the 26, and he just came out of the radio and simply said, not cleared. The wall there. But he's still 3 wide. Look at him. Now he's got the 10 on the inside right now.
Oh, man.
And inside of that, Tiny Toes driver. Number 7, Corey Dank. Oh, man. 2 times in a row in turn 1, the 71's been pinched to the outside wall. He's going to finally clear, go single file, then say, hey, Adam Boughton, how you doing? I'm going to check on the inside. But nope, backs it on down. But look at this. Look at my paint job out here. He's already got 10 spots, 83, Brandon Gagne. I put chrome on this car. I don't think he uploaded that spec map, but either way, I'm kind of liking my scheme out there right now.
Yeah, it definitely looks good. But, Jeremy, I'm telling you, if you wouldn't tell me that we're only working lap... Oh, Adam Boughton up in the wall right now. Wall glued. He's wall glued. Still glued. Finally gets off. But, Jeremy, he loses about 5 spots. Soon to be 6 here to the 21 of Christopher James. And even more, you see Dalton Wicker coming back after that contact, 3 wide, Wicker in the center. Yo, man, ooh, talk about a slide job from Dalton Wicker on the 91 of Adam Boughton.
There was no more than 2 inches separating the 17 and the 94 off of turn 4 there. Still 2 wide all the way through for the most part. Little 3 wide action there is the 80 of Cogswell. He was up in 4th place. What happened to the 80? He's back to where he started in 18th. And,
somebody else that's not doing too hot right now is we're watching. That's the 14 Estrogeny who elected to stay out. He gets loose off of turn 4, has to back it down. Now he's still stuck 3 wide in the center. He's going the wrong way right now, Jeremy. Probably definitely questioning his life choices by staying out there because the drivers that stayed out, they're nowhere in that top section anymore, Jeremy. They have fallen victim to fresh simulated good years by these other drivers. And like I was saying before all this crazy racing right now, as you see Christopher James in the center, Dalton Wicker down low, is if I couldn't look at the top left and see we're currently working lap 34 of 140, I would say that this was like the last 10 laps of the race. Corey Dank up in the wall there, a little bit of wall glue after contact from Christopher James.
Yeah, it's getting crazy out here, and I was kind of looking back and thinking of why people stayed out and fear the race leader. Well, it's chaotic out here, right? We're 35 laps in. We've seen multiple counts of 3 wide, cars hitting the wall for turn 1 every other lap. It's crazy out here, right? And you only have 3 sets of tires to choose from on pit road. So if you're thinking in your camp, hey, we're going to be a 5 caution race, you don't come down the first set and change them. That's probably what the call is, I would imagine. But
I never thought about that. Not a bad call, Jeremy. I'm glad you pointed that out.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's an oval race. Most of the time at RSR, these things go less than 4 cautions on average, probably around 3.5, 4.5, somewhere in that range. So if they're expecting more than 4 to 5, then yeah, this might be a better call for those drivers.
And it very well could, Jeremy. I mean, we know, and all the viewers out there know as well as anybody else that, the pit strategy is strong over here with these RSR guys. You know, they run some crazy strategies. They have had it pay off. They've had it not pay off. But, I mean, that just goes to show that these drivers may be thinking longevity, Jeremy. You know, working the last pit stop, we got 3 wide. Richie Coy in the center. Dalton Wicker down low. Michael Carter up top, still 3 wide as they come off of turn 2. Still 3 wide. Ooh, a little close there between Wicker and Coy, as those two were still trying to duke it out, but back to 2 wide. But as I was saying, they may be thinking down to, lap 100 to 110 for that final pit stop and still banking and having that last set of good years there where other teams may not. So, I mean, we can see strategy already starting to play in.
Yep, already there. You've seen a majority of the field is starting to go up to the second and third groove. That's just natural of Kansas. When you start to lose that tire wear a little bit, it's much easier to drive the car when the track is turning the car for you versus being on the flat at the bottom. Starting to see a lot more single file. We had that 3 wide a couple laps ago. Outside of that, it's just been single, maybe a couple doubles here and there. Gino Merrill looking to the outside, number 11. This is for 5th place. Gino, man, this man, 14th on the grid, trying to get himself into the top 5 for the first time tonight. I would imagine the odds, if you have to bet on a virtual race, the odds on this man winning this race again is got to be up there in the...
No, not if he blinks like that.
Plus, yeah, right? I'm going to give him like a plus 350, which is a strong positive number on that betting odds.
Yeah, I mean, it is so hard with the level of competition. It is so hard to get a win over here at RSR, let alone 2 wins, or 3 wins. But we've seen a lot of drivers that have been able to do that. But it's a very small group of company that has done those wins back to back. To be able to, if he can try to do it, 3 in a row for the 3-peat. I mean, he's in prime company there with some of the other drivers that have been able to do it over here at RSR. So, but he's got a lot of work ahead of him. I mean, Kansas is a tough track. These drivers are not only racing the track, they're racing the other competitors, and we've already seen, Jeremy, that these drivers are hungry. They know what's on the line. They know what's up for grabs. Points are points. We've already seen 3 and 4 wide racing here multiple times, so it's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, a lot of the times you hear people say, I got to race the track. I can't race the competition. This track is vice versa. You race competition first. You got to see what they're doing. You got to counter that or mimic it, depending on how well it's working. There's a lot of different scenarios that it's car versus car, not car versus track. But right now, they've tamed it down a little bit, Dustin. We're 43 laps in to a 140-lap race. We're just under 100 laps to go. And since we're kind of spaced out here, I'm going to kick it to our first picture-in-picture commercial break. And we'll be right back.
Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared. Forward we Welcome to the whole world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared. Forward we Welcome to the whole world. All the lions try to hide away from the scars we
And back to full screen here. Looking over the 36, 4, 71, 11, 10 all here through turn 3. Single file on the back straightaway. Scatters all over the place like they turn on the lights and found some roaches in the kitchen on 3 and 4. And then they go back to, well, never mind. They're scattering still. They're going to go 3 wide. Bold strategy caught him to run the outside of the tri-oval. That doesn't work speed-wise ever, but he's going to run it anyways. We're almost going to go 3 wide if he had the gap, but he's going to shoot it down.
Oh,
We are going to go
man.
3 wide. Jack's in the middle. Alexander Hodge on the top.
What a
Look at
cut.
those sheets. Yeah, big cut, right?
He went from uptown to downtown in a split second, pushing
Oh, no.
it 3 wide. Oh! See, and that's what I was talking about, Jeremy. So you seen what happened right there. So it is a driver's choice. Oh, Alexander Hodge into the wall a little bit. It's a driver's choice whether they want to go down to the apron or not. You're not required to, but what happens is a lot of times some of these drivers will anticipate that a driver is going to drop below the apron, and they may not. So that's why you see a lot of contact coming through that tri-oval there on that front stretch, Jeremy, is because those drivers on the high side will assume that those drivers will drop down to the apron like you just see a lot of the drivers do there, and they may not. So they're actually holding that line just above the white line, and those drivers are thinking that they're not there. They're down below that white line. So that's why the tri-oval here is so tricky, just like a lot of other cookie cutter tracks, Jeremy. You know, Vegas is another one of them that you'll do that. Phoenix is one of them as well, right there on that front stretch. You know, a lot of people will sit here and cut down and utilize that. And it's it puts a whole new level of you know, toughness to that track there, because it's all assumption like that. Unless your head's on a swivel, I mean, and your spotter's spot on, it's going to be tough.
And that's why VR headsets are kind of like, they're king at the mile and a halfs like that, right? You just turn your head, or like you have an IR tracker where you kind of just wear this little device, and the other half kind of just helps rotate the cockpit like you're actually, you know, your head is in the car. You can swivel left and right real quick. Or if you don't have a third-party device like that, it's almost crucial to have the look left, look right button set up on your steering wheel for quick glances. I know I use that quite often, even if I'm just at Daytona side by side. I look left and right all the time, and it really just helps me with my spatial awareness. And you really need to do that. You got to do it before you make the cut down on the tri-oval to see if that whoever's racing alongside you is indeed going below or not. So you don't have those instances like we had with the 11 and the 23 earlier. That saves headache, that saves damage, saves everything. So there's that.
Yeah, it is. It's tough, you know, like you said, especially at these mile and a halves. You know, and that's that level of racing the other drivers. You know, it's a lot of times, you know what they say about assuming. It makes an ass out of you and me. And you can't always assume that a driver is going to, even if the last 3 laps they've gone down below that apron, you can't assume they're going to keep going down there. You know, that technically the racing surface is above that white line, so it's tough when it comes to that. You have to race the other drivers and know where they're at, you know, not just assume or anticipate that, but know where they're at physically. So it's a whole new level.
100% here. I want to take a quick moment to Waterford Concepts LLC. This is the sponsor of tonight's race. And I'll give them a shout out as well. So they're leader in engineering, 3D printing, 3D scanning, and composite manufacturing, focused primarily on automotive, RC, and motorsport. Waterford Concepts is your shop to make ideas become a reality. And to do so, find them at Facebook at facebook.com/Waterford Concepts. And get to it. It's a great company. If you're looking to do something of what I just described, you won't regret it.
Absolutely. You know what? We're going to do one better, Jeremy. We're actually going to hit the
Okay.
Waterford Concepts Top 10 recap. So Nathan Campbell right now up 6 positions from where he started. It was actually the first driver that came down under the last Boomer button box caution to the service of his virtual pit crew. And you can see how that is paying off right now. Currently out front leading. Got a comfortable breathing room between himself and Stealth Motorsports teammate Nolan Potter and the 34 Potter. Right now, your biggest mover, up 13 positions from where he started. Been running a clean race in that brand new Cincinnati Reds sponsored machine there. Love the new paint jobs. Love seeing guys bring out new stuff. But Jeremy, pretty quiet night for Nolan Potter, and anytime you can do that at Kansas is a great thing. Brock Potter behind him in the 4, up 6 positions from where he started. Clean, quiet race right now. Had a couple situations where he was 3 wide in the center and 3 wide down low, but that did not last long. Up now, right now, into the podium, running very strong. Good amount of breathing room between himself and 4th place, Gage Wenzel. I tell you what, we keep calling this guy's name over and over again. Started 4th, running 4th right now, but very clean tonight, Jeremy. Again, another solid top 5 run going on for the driver of that 36213 Simware Chevy Camaro ZL1. As long as he keeps going, we may be calling his name later on in the race. 5th place right now, up 9 spots from where he started. The driver that has the most momentum coming into tonight's race, none other than the 71 of Gino Morrow. Currently running in the 5th spot. And as we said, Jeremy, winner of the last 2 events, both a road course and an oval, looking to see if he can't try to make that a 3-peat tonight, but he's got a little bit of work. He's got 4 tough drivers ahead of him. Running in 6th place right now, up 4 spots from where he started. Caleb Sheets in that number 10 Nike Chevy Camaro has been running really good. We've seen him make some good moves. You see a little bit of damage there to that right front, kind of dicing it up with either the wall or some other drivers, but we've seen him make that move from uptown to downtown to go 3 wide, so he knows how to make the moves when he needs to make those moves right now, trying to trek forward. 7th place, Alexander Hodge. This driver has had some run-ins tonight already, trying to trek forward. He's down 2 spots from where he started 5th, currently running 7th right now. Had a run-in with the 23 of Harold Watkins. Has been in numerous 3-wide battles there, so definitely trying to move his way forward, but definitely pulling some risky moves there. We know how 3-wide works sometimes. But so far, driver and the pilot of number 11 has made it work. Jack Simpson right now running P7 up 4 spots. Again, another quiet night though. And again, if it's a quiet night, we're not calling the name that often. That means you're probably doing something right, especially at these 1.5-mile-ers. Right now, keeping it clean, trying to trek forward. Solid in the top 10 right now, but he is under pressure from the driver in 8th place. In the 8 car, none other than Michael Carter right now. He's trying to chase down 24 Jack Simpson, running 8th, started 8th, but he's looking to try to move forward on that one there here in just a couple laps. 9th place, driver of the number 3 Team Conti Sim Performance, Ford Mustang Dark Horse. That's none other than Bob Fitzpatrick Jr. Again, quiet night, ran back in the back at the early stages till that Boomer button box caution came out, and now he has been moving forward as now we have pit stops happening right now. But that is going to lead us to who would have been running in P10, and that is the number 99. A little contact between Ruff and Corey Dank. This is your battle for P10, or what would have been P10, but it was Kevin Ruff at the time. So Kevin Ruff, again, was one of those drivers elected to run in the back, but he has moved his way forward since pit stops. And Jeremy, that is your Waterford Concepts Top 10 recap. And speaking of pit stops, coming at you, Jeremy.
Yeah, Brandon Gagnon started really early in the 83, about 10 laps ago. Now we're seeing 3rd place given up from Brock Potter. And he's going to bring the number 10 with him, Caleb Sheets. Here's the 17, Dalton Wicker. 3 drivers right now. Looks to be on pit road. Michael Carter here in the 8 as well. So 4 drivers in on this lap. And
That looks
yeah,
like a long pit
this is
stop
about
for the
this
meet.
is actually a pretty long pit stop. I'm gonna go take a look to see where the mistake. Oh, we got some walk-ups here on pit road this time. 11, Alexander Hodge. 71, Gino O'Maro. The number 7, Corey Dent. 24, Jack Simpson. Heating up right now, Dustin, on lap 67.
Yeah, Jerry Culver coming in, Christopher James coming in. So again, first green flag pit stops for a lot of these drivers. So trying to woe it down to pit road speed can be a bit tricky. But I'm gonna say that oh man! And as I was getting ready to go back and look, exiting pit road, the 8 of Michael Carter on those cold, fresh tires gets loose, cuts and mows the grass a little bit, helping out the lawn services here at Kansas Speedway. But I'm going to say he is a lap down. So, Jeremy, I'm going to say that he got nabbed for a pit penalty of some kind because that was an extended stay with his virtual pit crew.
Yep, it's a double whammy. He entered pit road at 61 miles an hour. Pit speed is 45, so it's a 16-mile-an-hour variance. iRacing flagged him for a 40-second hold. He comes out of pit road, not the happiest about what he did on pit road entry, and spun the tires and got loose there. So a little 2 for there. It's going to really set back Michael Hart in the 8 for sure. 1 lap minimum down for him. Jump into the chats. I skipped over him for a little bit there, but Michelle saying that's that going back to the Space Panda product because it's been a long time since she typed this in, but helps out with the autistic kiddo and getting the boy down for bed. That just really helps her unwind for sure. There's Bob Fitzpatrick. He's down pit road. And then Harold Watkins out of the car, but in the YouTube chat. I was referring to the incident on the front stretch where YouTube originally made the contact. So then, yes, after that, the back straightaway just basically hooked you out on the back straightaway. I do agree on that notion there. So that is indeed true. But back to the racing action on the screen. Kevin Ruff has cycled to the race lead, but he is coming down pit road. Bob Fitzpatrick already down. Jonathan Cogswell, he just entered pit road as well. So the next car to get the lead, Dustin, is back to the 45, Nathan Campbell.
Yeah, as a cycle around, Kevin Ruff on pit road to the service of his virtual pit crew. Harold, glad to see that you have cleared the virtual infield care center and everything's all right with that. That was a hell of a lick there on that front stretch. But yeah, it's it was a. We try to keep it PG, so yeah, we'll leave it at incident there, quote unquote. But Michelle, you know what? I understand that as a father of 2 children diagnosed with ASD, autism spectrum disorder. You know, I can understand how tough that gets. A lot of people don't understand that without living it. It's a whole new world for sure. So I'm glad that you have found a way to try to help with that, and that's another reason why my wife utilizes the product as well. But Jeremy, green flag pit stops has cycled through. Nathan Campbell out front, but Nolan Potter has closed that gap through green flag pit stops. So it looks like Nolan Potter was able to close that gap up a little bit and is now only was about 3 car lengths difference. Now as he goes to the inside, Jeremy, this is going to cut down to about 1.
You got really close right here on the screen, 45-34. At the line, the difference, 0.232. The next car back, the 4 of Brock Potter, he was with the 34. Now he's 4.3 seconds back. So somehow, some way, the 45 and the 34 just did a much better job on the pit sequence than everybody else in the field to really gap themselves into this 2-car race for the race lead. The fourth place, 7 seconds back. If you go back to 10th place, that's 16 seconds back. So the race that was really chaotic early on, after a cycle of green flag pit stops, it's time for that racing iFlag track map time to see exactly what this field looks like. 75 laps in with 1 caution. And there you are. They're scattered all over the place, clustered in 1 and 2 now. A little cluster going down to turn 3. Couple of drivers up the front stretch, but majority of the pack together right now is on the back straightaway. Everybody else pretty spaced out so far.
Yeah, and this is what green flag racing does at a mile and a half like this. You know, pit stops are so pivotal. And Jeremy, I mean, if memory serves me, we have interviewed the four of Brock Potter a number of times, and I vaguely remember the conversation was one of the areas that he, he wanted to try to get better at was his pit entry. He typically has a very conservative entry and has stated that's where he loses, some of his time there. We know that the four's got speed, but, I can't blame him, Jeremy. Pit road can be as we got the 94 coming down pit road. So this is different. And they had just come to service not too long ago. So what's going on with the 94, Jeremy, coming at you?
Yeah, he came up on the radio half a lap ago and said 94 pitting. Nothing else around that. So unsure of the call. It looks like his last pit entrance, looking at the times posted, was on lap 45. That's 31 laps ago. We found the 94 on pit road. So they can go farther than 34 laps on a fuel run, I do believe. So this might be something to where he didn't like what was on the car, maybe some damage, maybe just wanted to change the sequence and get out of rhythm with somebody else. Not too sure, but we're seeing the 14. He's coming down pit road. He also pitted not too terribly long ago. So I'm not sure, Dustin, what's going on here.
Yeah, so as they're coming down right now, we're working lap 79 of 140. So we've got about 62 laps left to go. I'm wondering if they're trying to short pit it, Jeremy. Maybe trying to shortcut it do short runs on it. I mean, I don't know. We have seen some crazy pit strategies happen. We know they can go longer than 30, 31 laps on it. So, I mean, this to me tells me that there's some type of short pit going on because they could have stretched that out more than what they did. But remember, Strajny was one of the drivers that was already off sequence anyway on the last boomer button box caution where they elected to stay out and he was falling back. So there was already a couple of them that were on separate strategies, but I don't know. It throws us for a loop at times, Jeremy. It really does, trying to figure out what some of these drivers are doing, and they can get very creative with their pit strategies.
We're going to figure out behind the scenes. We're going to kick it to our second picture-in-picture commercial break. We will be right back. And back to full screen here. Lap 89, now lap 90, I do believe, here this time. Nope, it's still going to be 89 on the chart there. As we're getting to 50 laps to go here in just a couple of laps. 45 still the class of the field. The 34 and the 4 is your top three. And the 4 is kind of closed in a little bit, but the 34 is really fallen off dropped off like a rock. So he's quickly fallen to the clutches of Brock Potter in third place. Looking on your screen right now. Cogswell, then the 80, the black Mustang right there. Nolan Potter right in front of him. Not for position. This is just to move the 80 further back, has a lap down traffic. As we're on the back straightaway here. And the top 5 are almost 10 seconds apart from the race leaders. So Dustin, it's gotten a little bit worse as far as that spacing is really just wide open track for every driver out here.
Yeah, and it really has. And again, that's what green flag racing does. I mean, these guys have had a clean pit stops with the exception of Michael Carter, who got nabbed 16 mile an hour over pit road speed, coming in at 61 mile an hour in a 45. Got that 40-second hole, but everybody else, I mean, super strong, but it is really spaced out. I mean, there's, it's at the point now, Jeremy, where the drivers are not racing other drivers. Now they are racing the track because there's so much breathing room in between, except for this little pack right here being led by Corey Dank and his teammate Dalton Wicker. These drivers here have been going. You see Adam Boughton there. He's got fresher tires than everybody else. That's why he's on the hunt right now trying to move forward. Still curious to kind of see how the pit strategy of the 94 of Boughton and the 14 Astrogeny is actually going to play out as they came down to pit on lap 79. So we'll have to see how this is exactly going to work out. But Jeremy, the way it's going right now, I mean, we're looking at some long green flag runs. So strategy could be a huge factor by the time this race is done.
100% here. As we're just watching the laps tick away. I'm going to do another shout out for our partner because we have plenty of time to do so. So, Dusty Pete's Gifts and Collectibles been partnering with us for well over a year. I think maybe even 2 years at this point. So head yourself over to dustypetes.com whenever you get a moment. Even just a view on the website, he will appreciate you shopping around what he has. And what he does have is collectible things for anything nerdy, basically. Of course, he supports the iRacing community, so he's got some NASCAR diecasts up for grabs. And then he's also got thousands of comic books, collectible action figures, trading cards of all kinds, whether it be fictional monsters or sports cards, and just a little bit of everything on that side of the spectrum. So if you want to, like I said, check that out, dustypetes.com. Whatever you purchase, use the promotion code SUPERNERD. It'll save you 15% off your purchase of $20 or more online. And that's it. Put it in your bookmarks. Check it out after the race.
Absolutely want to shout out Ryan Bean on the YouTube chat making his entry here. Saying, geez, Nate, slow down. Talking about Nathan Campbell out front right now by 3.5 seconds over Brock Potter, who did pass Nolan Potter just the last lap and a half. But, yeah, he's on there. Harold Watkins saying stealth domination when they don't get wrecked by a front row driver with a smiley face. So it's tough in that situation, but at least, Harold, you're having a little fun with it, man. I give you props on that one there. But glad you guys can sit here and join us, and hopefully we'll see what happens at the end of this race. Again, Jeremy, minimal cautions here. These drivers kept it clean fast. We've had a lot of 3-wide racing. We've had some 4-wide racing. And we're taking it down. Nearing lap 100 of 140, Jeremy.
Yep. We're just logging laps right now. One more pit stop to be had by all the drivers out here. And it'll settle that race for this race here tonight for the Waterford Concepts 200. Kind of cycling through here. Here's Christopher James in the 21. He's currently 15th place, second to last car on the lead lap. There's the 13, Jerry Culver, who is in 16th, your last driver on the lead lap. 29 seconds back of your race leader. The lap times are about 31 seconds.
And there's
So
your
you can
race leader
see-
right there.
Yep, on the right-hand side of your screen. He is on the same straightaway as your race leader to bring him down to 1 lap down eventually. If we do go green the entire way, which at this point, there's a strong chance of that happening. I'm riding on board your race leader, Nathan Campbell here in the 45. The guy that Ryan Bean said, hey, geez, man, slow down. You're too fast. Well, in racing, I don't think there's a thing that's too fast, don't you think?
I would have to agree. I mean, I would love to have that problem. I mean, in all honesty, I think any driver would love to have that problem. But Nathan Campbell has definitely been one of the hot drivers throughout the season. Ryan Bean has had his success throughout the season as well. You can't count out Harold Watkins either. You know what? I know that guy has seen bridesmaids more often than most people would like to admit, but I mean that's not always a terrible thing either. I mean that's solid, consistent finishes. I mean we've seen a lot of drivers finish very well, Jeremy, and have had excellent runnings. Gino Morrow's been on a hot streak. We talked about that. Over the last 3 to 4 weeks, Gage Wenzel's been on fire. You know, he's been running very strong, very well. So, I mean, we've seen a lot of drivers that tend to have that, hey, you need to slow down too fast kind of mentality. And, hey, you know what? It's working. If it's working, as I always say, Jeremy, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
That is absolutely true. Very factual piece of information there. And if you're the 45, you're not slowing down. You're really not. You're going to continue to actually increase your race lead because your teammates telling you to slow down. He said, nah, we're not playing this game here. And we got a little bit of side-by-side action for a little bit of time here. Here's Bob Fitzpatrick looking at the inside of 94 of Adam Boughton, and right in front of them, there was another couple cars side-by-side. That broken down. That's the 11 of Alexander Hodge. Clips behind the 13 of Jerry Culver here. As we're on lap 102 now, so just under 40 laps left in this Waterford Concepts 200. And are we gonna find 3 wide in the midst of nothing here, Dustin? This might be.
They were trying. They were trying for a hot minute. This is a battle between the 17 of Dalton Wicker, the 43 of Timothy Watson, 19 of Richie Coy. These guys have been duking it out now for the last few laps, trying to best one another here. And they've been doing a pretty good job. I'm gonna go back to the YouTube chats. There is that a team bounty I'm hearing. Ryan Bean says, "Nah, I'm making sure Nate doesn't complete a lap next week." So, shots fired. We'll see what happens. All I'm hearing, Jeremy, is action-packed sparks flying for next week's race.
Doesn't complete a lap next week. So Ryan, is that a precursor to what the 28 has in store for the 45? Am I picking up what you're paying down, or is there something else here?
I don't know. Only time's gonna tell, Jeremy. Only time's gonna tell. Working lap 105 of 140. Still good side-by-side racing here. Dalton Wicker has separated himself from these guys, but Timothy Watson, Richie Coy still racing hard. Travis Strajny coming up. We got Nolan Potter coming down pit road right now. So he was running third. He is going to relinquish that to come down pit road. This should be his final pit stop of the night. This will put him at 35 to 36 laps remaining in the event tonight. Nathan Campbell coming down as well. So he went around another lap and is coming down. That is your race leader coming down for the final pit stop. Jeremy, we talked about the drivers that came down on lap 79, 80, right around there. I'm wondering if they're hoping that there's going to be a caution when these guys are coming for theirs, because they are off cycle from everybody else. We see Caleb Sheets coming down, Alexander Hodges coming down, Dalton Wicker, Richie Coy. These are all scheduled pit stops. These will be the final pit stops. But because they are off cycle, I'm wondering if they're hoping there's going to be a caution where they'll cycle back around and be in the race lead and be in control and trap some of these drivers a lap down.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of cars on pit road this past couple laps. They all are putting themselves back on cycle, basically doing so. About, what, 10 cars made their way on pit road in the past 2 laps. Right now, Gage wins on the 36. You're looking at him now. Cycled to the race lead. Momentarily going to stay out this lap here. Gino Mero second. Brock Potter staying out. He's in third. Corey Denk fourth. Bob Fitzpatrick is your top 5. Bob just came down pit road. Exited pits already. So 36, Gage Wenzel, your race leader. He's calling pit road. He will be entering this time. Does Gino take the lap? What does he come down with?
Yeah, we're going to find out. He's going high, so I'm going to say he's going to take the lap lead because it does not look like he is looking to enter in. He's way too high, and he does stay out. So it looks like he will cross the line as your race leader, so that will be a lap lead for the 71. Ryan Bean says, yes, it is, Dustin, to my comment saying that next week is going to be an action-packed, sparks flying type of race. And he also says, no, he's just knocking him down a peg, Jeremy, talking about Nate Campbell. Gage Wenzel on pit road. He's entering his pit box as we speak. Corey Denk coming down pit road to the service of his virtual pit crew, as is the 21 of Christopher James. Again, these are all scheduled stops. Gino Morrow coming down now after getting that lap lead. Oh, he locks him up, Jeremy. Might be close on the speed there. We'll have to see.
Telemetry has him at 48 mile an hour off the line. You get that little grace period.
He should be all right. He
Yep.
should be all right. That was close, though.
It's not 61, it's 48. So we'll take it. As we're now looking at the 80, Jonathan Cogswell. At the line this time. It's going to move him up to P2 as Gino was able to cross the line prior. So if he wants to lead a lap, he's going to have to stay out at least one more time. But Nathan Campbell is just about a second behind him. And then he'll be gobbled up real quick on those fresh 4 virtual Goodyears. As we're approaching the complete lap, 110, Dustin. This is going to be 30 laps to go.
Yeah, 30 laps to go, and it looks like the 80 of Cogswell is going to stay out. He's going to get him a lap lead. Get you some there, my guy. But he's going to have to stay in that throttle. Eventually, he's going to have to come down pit road, because right now, right there is Nathan Campbell. He is coming fast. He's going to have him gobbled up almost on exit corner exit here. Inside look right now. This is pass for the lead. Easy peasy with those fresh tires. 45, Nathan Campbell back to the top spot.
Minus the 80. It's all spaced out here. Nolan Potter falls a couple spots. Adam Boughton resumes now in 4th place in that 94. Remember, he was one of the earliest pitters of this cycle. I'm not sure if he can complete this run to the end. I'm not entirely sure for the 94. You see him. There's a little bit of difference in the telemetry there on that notion.
Yeah,
so let's see what this
35 laps right now. 35
Yep,
laps there. Cogswell out there 41 laps as it sits right now. So these guys really trying to stretch it. Trying to hope for a caution. Maybe to try to sit here and close things back up. But at some point in time, Jeremy, may not be the tires they're going to have to worry about. It's going to be that virtual Sunoco race fuel and that virtual fuel cell that they may have to start worrying about.
Yeah, 100% there. Lap 113. Cogswell still on track. Still ticking them away now in P2. This will move Gage Wenzel back to the top 5 once the 80 hits pit road. As Brock takes over 2nd place in the 4 car. He's got 3.5 seconds to make up to his teammate, the 45. We're in the top of the track just like a lot of others are. Jonathan Cogswell calling the shot, Dustin. He's the last car on pit road. It will be this lap.
Yeah, he's 42 laps since his last pit cycle, so he's definitely in need of it, but he was able to get out there, get him some laps led, run up there in the front. Again, it was a pit strategy, whether it was a planned pit strategy or it was just one that he was kind of forced on. It was one of those, I believe he stayed out along with Travis Strajny and everything else there at that one of the earliest Boomer Button Box cautions that we had. And the strategy just doesn't seem like it's paying out, Jeremy, as we got 26 laps left to go. It almost seems sealed at this point in time. The only thing that can throw a monkey wrench in here, and Jeremy, I'm not gonna say it because I
Do it.
do it. The only thing that could throw a monkey wrench in any of these plans, in any of these leads and spaces for position, is a boomer button box caution. That is the only thing that could do it. Adam Boughton coming down pit road for his final stop, as is the 14 of Travis Strogeny.
Well, monkey wrench to the 14. Unsafe entrance. He drove through the yellow cone, locking it down. Expect this car to have a 40-second hold of himself. As you got it quickly on the Nerd TV replay. Second time we've seen an unsafe entrance here. One for speeding and one for locking it down. He had it, but then he couldn't turn because the tires were locked.
Oh,
He
yep.
clips the cone. And I'm waiting for him to drop the left jack to confirm that 40-second hold. That's your pole sitter.
And there it is, 40-second hold minimum.
Yep. Jack's down, has to wait the time frame, and just like that, your pole sitter's going to be going to be like 3 to 4 laps down when he gets back on surface of the track. Justin, we're really spaced out. I usually don't do this, but we're going to take a quick final picture-in-picture just to re-gear everything and get ready for the post-race and the final few laps of this event. We'll be right back.
Welcome to a whole new world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared. Forward we Welcome to a whole new world. Shine a light on everything. Please
And back to full screen here. 13 laps remaining in the Waterford Concepts 200. Nathan Campbell still leading the charge. 2.8 second lead over teammate number 4, Brock Potter. Third place, 10 seconds back. The 34 of Nolan Potter. And then Gino Mero, 2 weeks in a row, does not look like it's going to get done for the 71. He's got a little battle you saw on the screen during our last commercial break. Him and Gage Wenzel in the 36 were chasing each other down the back straightaway, doing some side-by-side, but ultimately that was won by the 71 there. Puts Gage P5. Sixth place, Caleb Sheets. Dustin, 17 seconds between this man in sixth place versus the race leader. This race, the first 20, 30 laps, was really competitive. And then something happened in the power shift, and just this 45 and the number 4 just taking off and leaving everyone literally in the dust.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was entire change. Like you said, there was an entire shift in the race itself. You know, in the early stages, everybody was close. The drivers were racing and competing with other drivers. Once they started getting some space in between, it then focused and switched to drivers racing the track. When drivers are racing the track, there's less chance of incidents that would happen to bring out a boomer button box caution. And that's where we're at right now. And the longer it goes, the less likely it is to happen. We had some close calls there. We've seen the 71 of Morrow and the 36 of Wenzel really going at it. And there was some crisscrosses and crossovers and slide jobs, and it was pretty close. But aside from those one-off battles like you see right here between the 10 of Caleb Sheets and the 3 of Bob Fitzpatrick Jr., there's not a lot going on, which lowers the chance of that boomer button box caution, Jeremy. With 9 laps to go, these drivers now are just trying to get everything they can. Remember, there is a points battle going on as we sit, so every position is pivotal in those final points to try to make that next playoff cutoff.
Yeah, but everyone's really spaced out except for the 10 and the 3 you're seeing on the screen. Side by side, the only action on the track, minus maybe Corey Dink and Kevin Ruff, 9th and 10th place. Good side-by-side battle here. Bob still running, cutting the dog leg, which is the front stretch. Rotating to the other battle on the track, the 99 and the 7. They're up against the outside wall in 1 and 2, trying to find grip where they can. Riding on board the roof camera now, Kevin Ruff. P10 for the BestOne tire. Ford Mustang here running just a half a lane up higher than Corey Dink. And they both make contact to the outside wall at time off turn 4.
Yeah, contact, not what you want right now. That is just going to slow down your time. But this battle right here has been side by side for a few laps. That Sheets in the 10 there on the inside. Fitzpatrick Jr. on board right now as we're rotating back around. Fitzpatrick Jr. does get that position now, clearly. So he secures his 6th place position as it sits, Jeremy. 6 laps to go, though. A lot can happen in 6 laps with these drivers. That's one thing we've never counted our chickens before they hatch, so to speak, because anything, and I mean anything, can happen.
I've done it many times, and I've also failed many a time, so there's that. 94, not for position. Rotating back to your race leader. As Brandon Gagnon goes another lap down to the clutches of the fastest car in Kansas. That's the 45, Nathan Campbell. 4.5 laps to go. Has only a 1.7 second lead as this car right here, Brock Potter's, closed in the gap a little bit. Was 2.5, now he's 1.7. Doesn't have enough time to get there, but at least he's making a last second effort to do something. Possibly.
Yeah, but he needs a last 1.7 second effort, though, as it sits.
Yeah, it's just way too gone. 45 just blistering laps early on. This last couple of stints to open it up for the end of the race here tonight. Gonna be 3 laps to go at the line. And 3rd place, Nolan Potter, 11 seconds back. So No credit to be taken away from the 4. He is doing an amazing job compared to everybody else, except for one guy, and that's the 45.
Yeah, 45 since he took the lead has been in control of this race, even through green flag pit stops. And we've had a number of those, Jeremy. But one thing to talk about, I mean, we have a number of drivers that are not on the lead lap right now. Richie Coy's one of them, Travis Strajany, Michael Carter. These were drivers that were fast at the start of the race, Jeremy, but pit road violations have taken its toll on a number of drivers tonight. And we see a lot of these drivers that are locked outside of the lead lap right now. They're not even in contention for even anywhere in the top 10 as it sits right now. So that goes to show, Jeremy, and I speak from experience, pit road infractions are frustrating, or when you, miscue on pit road, it can be detrimental. And I mean, it is a huge momentum killer, huge confidence killer as we get the Elevated Esports 1 to go, Nathan Campbell. 4 more turns, 1 more circuit around the Kansas Speedway for him to lock in yet another victory here at RSR.
Half a lap left to do so. Brian Fine tuning in with the last 15 laps of this race. He missed a couple of incidences, a couple of penalties, and a lot of green flag racing. And it's belonged majority to this guy, the 45, Nathan Campbell, picking up another checkered flag here on a Tuesday evening. This time for the Waterford Concepts 200 at Kansas Speedway. Excellent job here from Stealth Motorsports, specifically the Super ATV Toyota Camry. Class of the field after the 30th lap or so in this race. Untouchable. Only time he lost the lead was pit road cycles for green flag. That was it. The rest of the race belongs to the 45 and the 4, basically, as he gets a nice little nudge on the rear bumper. He's going to do a much well-deserved burnout in his Camry. And tons of space here. Don't expect him to hit the outside wall, but you never know. It's been a while since I called him out. Maybe they finally got the picture. You can't do that when I'm broadcasting you. He's going to go to safe route. We're going to go in the grass. There you go.
Do you blame him, though? They get called out if they hit the wall. That's typical nerd fashion. We call them out. So, yeah, I would take the safe route, too, Jeremy.
There we go. Okay, now we're going to kick up some smoke, finally. And that's it. Unofficial results on your screen. 45, Campbell, Brock Potter, Nolan Potter. That's your top 3. It's been a while since we've talked to both Potters at the same time. Gino Mero, P4, Gage Wenzel, 5th. Bob Fitzpatrick, 6th. Caleb Sheet, 7th. Kevin Ruth, 8th. 9th place, Alexander Hodge, 10th. Corey Denk, 11th. Dalton Wicker, 12th, and your last car on the lead lap is the 43 of Timothy Watson. Brandon Gagnon, the first one lap down in 13th. Christopher James, 14th. Jonathan Cogswell, 15th. Adam Boughton, 16th. Jerry Culver in 17th. Jack Simpson in 18th. Richie Coy, 19th. And everybody else did not finish the race, I do believe. That's going to be Kent Mueller, Travis Strajany, Michael Carter, Robert Fitzpatrick Sr., Harold Watkins, and that's it. 24 entries for this race. We're finished with it. We're going to wait for the top 3 to get in our waiting room, and then we'll go back live for the post-race presented by Martin Sports. We'll be right back. And here's the Martin Sports post race show. 34. Nolan Potter, the first one. P3 tonight here. Nolan, congrats on P3.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Very exciting first 30 laps here at Kansas, and then things just wide open across the entire track.
Yeah.
You have teammates that are running so well, then you have teammates that are running behind you. How are the 4 and the 45 so much different? I know you guys get a lot of practice with one another. You're a strong car regardless. Third place it's a great finish, but it's just the speed difference between some of these guys is insane. What's going on out there?
So it's all about saving tire, and I've always struggled. I've always had the short run speed. I mean, I've always been able to have that. Brock is really, really good at long run speed. Doesn't have quite the short run speed, but so this kind of played into his hands. And Nate is just kind of both. He's got both long run and short run speed. So I kind of messed up one of my pit stops, and so I kind of tried to undercut him, and I messed that up. So I didn't really get out in front of Nate. I think clean air helped a little bit, but I was come to find out I was shifting a little different than they were, and I think I was burning my tires off in 1 and 2. So
I did not expect to hear the word shifting at Kansas. That's quite impressive. I know it's the Gen 7 car with 5 gears, but didn't think that
Yep.
was a thing here at Kansas. But was able to help rotate some of these cars around these corners, or what was the advantage of using fourth gear?
Advantage of using fourth gear is just like you said, getting the car to rotate a little bit, getting the momentum off the corner, especially late in runs. Early in runs, I was staying in fifth in 1 and 2, hoping to carry that speed down the backstretch. And then everyone I think was down to fourth in 3 and 4. But yeah, it's just kind of helps this car rotate. For some reason, it does not like to turn unless you're down into fourth gear. So um, it was a good race tonight. Pulled out the Pete Rose paint. Rest in peace. And yeah, it's a good time.
Had a lot of casualties this week on the celebrity side of things, so that's one of the names for sure as well. So, yeah, shout out to him, and bad week
Yep.
for the
Fair.
Americas here, especially with North Carolina. Like, oh my gosh.
Yep. Yep. Shout out to everyone. Hope everyone's safe. So I know I had another league canceled earlier this week because a lot of guys are from that area. So no power down there. So, but
Yeah, man. Well, any final thoughts just from shout outs or anything of that nature before we let you go?
shout out to you guys. Keep on, you guys are doing a great job, and looking forward to next week.
We'll see you at Talladega, man.
All right.
Have a good night. See you next week.
You too, man.
Thank you. Now it's Nolan Potter to the 34. Now we're going to rotate to the second place driver, the number 4, Brock Potter. Congratulations on P2.
Thank you, thank you.
Man, I keep seeing your car, and I want to say Taco Bell every single time. I know it's
I'm
not
glad
it.
I'm not the only one. Every time I seen
Okay,
it, that's
there
what
we
I
go.
thought.
I can totally see that. It just need the little Taco Bell dog on this
Yeah.
on the hood or something.
Just a splash of yellow on there somewhere, and it's perfect, man. But second place, awesome job. You and Nathan just... What was... Nolan said it was tire management. That's just a crazy amount of time difference between you two compared to everybody else. He said fourth gear is being utilized. What was different with your fourth gear versus everybody else's fourth gear?
I don't really know. Yeah, I know he said he was only using fifth, which I told him after. Yeah, he probably need to be using fourth, getting in the corner. But there's some seams on the track where if you can hit those seams just right, then it really just shoots you off the corner. I mean, especially 3 and 4. I don't know what was different. I ran a couple of AI races today, and 3 and 4 is really tight. And as soon as I got in this session, I mean, you could basically just blip it in 3 and 4 and then keep rolling the top. So it was a little bit different to get used to, but it was also kind of nice because, I mean, you're just full pedal to the metal through 3 and 4.
Yeah, 10-4 on that there. And I want to get your take on the final 4 races of the year. We got Talladega, which is a toss-up, Iowa, Vegas, and Homestead. What are your chances that we're going to be seeing you here at podium here in the next month?
This is 2 more times on the podium than I have in the entire time I've been in this league, so I'll take them when I can get them. But Talladega, definitely, I'm not a big super speedway guy, so not that my hopes aren't high, but I'll take what I can get at Talladega as long as I finish the race. Do love Iowa, do love Vegas, and I really like Homestead. Back to tire management, my brother always hates me because I usually have a lot better long run speed than him. So I wish we could have more of a full fuel run at Homestead.
He might have mentioned that, by the way.
Yeah, it's because there's last year at Homestead, I ran down him, Bean, and Nate on a long run. So I wish we could get more of a full fuel run and make my tire management skills a little better. But we'll just have to find something. We'll find a little bit of speed and get up to those guys.
Well, we'll see it, man. That'd be kind of cool to talk to you at least one more time before we close out 2024. But congratulations once more on P2. Any final shout outs before we let you go?
Of course, gotta shout out my team. I know we're missing Zach and Bean tonight. Hopefully we can get them back next week, especially at Super Speedway. We'll definitely need teammates out there. Shout out to my wife and my daughter. Let me do this every Tuesday night. Thank you guys. Thank you, Chef. Thank you, Ludi. And I know you guys are making fun of Taco Bell, but I gotta thank SD and BSN for the new job. Let me do this more often. I know I missed a bunch of the beginning of the season for my old job, so it's nice to have a little more money and have some more time to do this on every Tuesday.
Yeah, more money and more time. Sign me up.
Exactly.
Sounds like a great gig there. So yeah, shout out to your actual sponsor, not Taco Bell. No one needs to bring up Taco Bell again. BSN's the place, man. All right. Well, congratulations again on P2. I'll catch you at the 2.5 mile Super Speedway.
Awesome. Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you're welcome.
All right. See ya.
That was Brock Potter, not Taco Bell. BSN, the guy who pays him more and gives him more free time. Can't beat that, Dustin, right?
Absolutely.
I
Taco
want
Bell
that
sounds
right
good,
now.
though. Just saying.
BSN if you're hiring. But here we go. Nathan Campbell, the guy of the winner tonight. Here in the victory lane, presented by BestOne Tire Service. Nathan Campbell, P1. What kind of speed did you find with Brock, man? You and him, and just after 30 laps, I thought Travis had the car to beat, really fast in practice and early race. Had some good qualifying, and then after caution, you just became a rocket ship around here.
Yeah, wasn't too bad, honestly. Just hit my marks every single lap. I made a couple mistakes and scraped the wall, but for the most part, as long as you hit your marks, it's fairly straightforward. Just a highway around the top. I tried running the bottom a little bit, seeing if that would save tires, but then I actually felt my right front going away running the bottom in 3 and 4, so just stayed along the wall the entire race. Had to deal with some of the weirdos coming through traffic there, but I don't know what's going on with that. But it was a pretty simple race for the guys over at Stealth. Everybody thinks that we practice a ton. We didn't run a single lap this week and just came out here and got a top 3. So pretty happy with it overall, especially as a team. Tough race for Harold, but that's how it works,
Weirdos is a word. I'm not sure
I don't
that
know what else to call it.
describing traffic. I've heard some bonehead names. I've not PG, but weirdo. That's a new one to me.
Gotta try to keep it classy, I don't want to stoop down to any levels.
Classy, he says.
I'm gonna steal that term. I got some weirdos out here.
Yeah.
But I like it, man. But well-deserved win though. Just completely destroyed the field outside you and Brock Potter. Just putting on a clinic out here. We got 4 weeks left in this season. I seen Ryan Bean on the chat today. He said he is not going to let you complete a lap next week. What do you think of that?
He's just messing around. Hey, if I could wreck, and then it could make things interesting.
Yeah, right.
It sucks he wasn't able to make it. But it should be interesting the rest of the season. You never know what can happen, especially with all the heat that we have on us these last few weeks. So pretty comical.
Well, use it as fuel, man. Go out there and pick up all 4 podiums next month, and we'll see how that works. But floor is yours, man. Final thoughts before we let you go tonight.
Yeah, I just want to thank Kevin Ruff for sponsoring this race that I just won. I'm glad he paid money. It's kind of funny there, kind of ironic. But just got to thank Super ATV. As usual, if you guys need any side-by-side parts, hit me up. And thanks to you guys for putting on a great show. I'm sure you were able to, show some good moments out there and keep everyone entertained. So appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. Thanks for the kind words, and thanks for chucking in a couple pieces of coal into the fire there. Right before we let you go, we'll
Yeah,
see you at Talladega.
I don't want to hold anybody's pocket or anything, but I'm
That's
just
right.
out there. Yeah.
All right, good night to you.
thanks. Yeah.
All right, man. That was Nathan Campbell. Gotta love. He's not just your typical interview. Throwing it out there, spicing it up a little bit, creating some fun for himself and his team. But they can do that. They got a bunch of wins out here. So just another stealth
They can
dominant race.
make it a little spicy.
Yeah, definitely doing that for sure. What do you think, man, Dustin? We had a great first race here earlier this season. Come here the second time. Looked like we're gonna have the same product. I don't know what the difference is. Maybe they did some homework and found the little tricks like using the seams to their advantage. But at the end of the day, decent race overall, right?
Yeah, it was. Especially when you look at that race as it being, stretched out with long green flag runs. Was the beginning part of the race, fun to call? Absolutely. I mean, that's where all the action was at. 3 wide, 4 wide racing. That's where the boomer button box cautions were at. And then once drivers kind of started getting set in their mindset on it and started logging laps, everything got stretched out. Then it went from an action-packed one to more of a, pit strategy style, racing the track, not the other drivers. So it's 6 and 1, half dozen the other when we come to mile-and-a-half tracks like this. You don't know what type of race you're going to get. Is it going to be one where you're going to have a caution every 35, 40 laps and it's going to close everything up and the racing is going to be crazy? Or is it going to be one of those where, it's going to be one of those enduring ones where the drivers are stressed out and we get these super long green flag runs? It's a gamble every time. Either way, it's a good race. So it was a good race tonight. Seen some good, clean racing. Seen some very hard, maybe too closer racing. But, I mean, that's racing in general. So, overall, looking forward to seeing what happens, Jeremy. You know me in Talladega. I love that place. Probably out of the 2 super speedways, it's probably the one that I have the most luck at and I run the best at. Looking to see what that wild card is going to play here with the playoffs getting so close.
Yeah, Talladega is going to be that's going to be a race. If you're going to tune into one race in the postseason, that's that one. Talladega next week on my birthday, of course. Still got a work thing. It's okay. I love doing it. It's all good. And it's Talladega, so it's going to be a good birthday gift for myself to watch and call this race for sure. It sounds like things are spicy like we just said. So tune in Tuesday, 8 p.m. Central, 9 Eastern. We're going to bring all the action once more. And then Sunday as well for the Global Racing League Truck Series. 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 Central. But I think that's it for the week on our end. You guys stay safe as always. Get your nerd on. We'll catch you Sunday.
This presentation is brought to you in part by
Martin Sports. Get the apparel, look stylish, be badass with apparel from Martin Sports. martinsports.gg. iRacing iFlag. Must-have flag marshaling system for any aspiring sim racer. Get yours today at iracingiflag.com. Boomer button boxes. Total sim control at your fingertips. boomerbuttonboxes.com. If you race hard, then you need to rock hard.
And no station gets you harder than
iRock935.com. If you're a collector and that's your game, then Dusty Pete's, that's the name. DustyPete's.com.
when nothing truly